So in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to use if-then statements. These are going to be fairly simplistic in this tutorial, and in later tutorials I'll work on building upon what I teach you here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just type in 5 numbers, 1 through 5, and A1 through A5. Here's how if statements work. As you type them in, I'm going to put equals if and open it. It's going to bring up the 3 criteria of these particular statements. These are logical tests. What you're telling these tests to look at is the content of a particular cell or cells. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to say if, I'm going to type A1, okay, and I need to say what I'm looking for in A1. So why don't I just say if A1 is equal to 1, okay, then comma, and value if true. So this is what I want to have it output. So I'm going to keep this simple and I'm just going to type true. So if A1 is equal to 1, the output I get in this cell will be true. If it is not, then the output I'll get will be false. Okay, so we can see that this output is true. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that cell and I'm going to paste it into here. Okay, and this compares each of these cells. So when you paste, if it's not an absolute value here, which this is not, it will change the cell that it's analyzing to the next cell in that particular column. So this is comparing A2 to 1. 2 is not equal to 1, so it returns false, and it does the same thing for A3, A4, and A5. So very, very basic stuff. Now, let's say that what I actually want to do here is I want to output a particular value or grade. So I'm going to type in several different categories that could be considered grades. Okay, so instead of true or false now, what I want to do is I want to have it say if it's a 90 or above, that it's an A, and if it's below that, it's not an A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in equals if, and then I'm going to choose A7, and then what I'm going to say is greater than or equal to 90. My output here, now because I'm not putting true or false and I'm actually putting a character or word that needs to be returned, I have to put it in quotations, so A. If it's false, I'll put not an A. Okay, so 50 is not an A, copy, and I'll paste this in. Okay, so now I've got, just similar to what I saw before, I've got not an A, not an A, not an A, not an A, and then 90 of course fills the criteria and it shows up as an A. Now let's say instead of that what I want to do is determine if somebody did or didn't pass a particular class. So I want it to say pass or did not pass. So again I'll type equals if, open parentheses, and passing is going to be greater than or equal to a 70. So again A7 greater than or equal to 70, comma, and remember it's a word, so I'm going to type it in parentheses, in quotations, pass, and then did not pass, close parentheses. Okay, the person with a 50 did not pass. I'm going to copy and paste this. Did not pass, and you'll notice now that anything that is greater than or equal to a 70 is considered a passing grade. So this is the basics. Now, I'm sure if you're an educator or anybody dealing with an array of numbers where you have multiple criteria, you're wondering, well, how can I get it to return more than just 2 outcomes, either the instance of true or the instance of false? What I'm going to do in the next tutorial is I'm going to teach you about what are known as nested if statements. And these are statements where, for the true criteria or the false criteria, we can put additional if statements. So that's it for that.